Jerusalem's one of those places where history and today just mash up in this wild, ancient tapestry of faith, mystery, and some ongoing drama that's still shaping the world. Did you know this city's home to some of the holiest spots for 3 of the planet's biggest religions? Picture this. You're strolling down streets that hold the secrets of Solomon's ancient temple, walking the same ground where Jesus was crucified, and checking out the mosque tied to Muhammad's epic night journey to heaven. The big 3 religions in Jerusalem. For Jewish folks, Jerusalem's the beating heart of their faith and history. This is where King Solomon built the first temple, a super sacred spot where they believed God literally hung out with his people. It was the go-to for religious rituals and sacrifices, symbolizing the bond between God and the Jewish people. After that temple got wrecked, they built the second temple on the same spot, making Jerusalem the epicenter of Jewish spiritual life again. But then in 70 AD, the Romans trashed it, leaving just the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall, which is still the holiest place for Jews today. People flock there to pray, slip little notes into the cracks, and keep that deep spiritual connection to their ancient roots alive. For Jews, Jerusalem's more than a city. It's hope, identity, and faith tied to dreams of redemption and rebuilding the temple. For Christians, Jerusalem's huge because it's where the biggest moments of Jesus Christ's life went down. This is the city where he was crucified, buried, and, according to Christian belief, rose from the dead on the 3rd day. That's the bedrock of the Christian faith, salvation and eternal life through Jesus. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, smack in the Old City, marks the spot of the crucifixion and resurrection, making it one of the most sacred places for Christians worldwide. Pilgrims come from all over to visit it. Plus, Jerusalem's where the apostles first started spreading Jesus' teachings, kicking off Christianity's early days. So, it's not just a historical spot, it's a living hub of faith and spirituality. For Muslims, Jerusalem's a big deal too, even if it's not Mecca or Medina. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, up on the Temple Mount, is the 3rd holiest site in Islam. According to tradition, the Prophet Muhammad took a miraculous night journey, called Isra and Miraj, where he ascended to heaven from this very spot. That event ties Islam to the other Abrahamic faiths and makes Jerusalem a spiritual heavyweight for Muslims. The mosque's not just a place to pray, it's a symbol of Islamic presence and faith in a city full of history and conflict. Yo, if you're digging this, hit that like button and subscribe for more. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem's Old City is straight up one of Christianity's most sacred spots. Tradition says this is where Jesus was crucified, buried, and, most importantly, rose from the dead. That resurrection? It's the core of Christian faith. The church got its start in the 4th century when Emperor Constantine, who made Christianity the Roman Empire's official religion, ordered it built. His mom, Saint Helena, supposedly pinpointed the exact spot of the crucifixion, called Golgotha, and the empty tomb tied to the resurrection. This church is a wild mix of architecture, Byzantine, medieval, you name it, because it's been rebuilt and expanded over centuries thanks to wars, fires, and earthquakes. It's shared by different Christian groups, mainly the Greek Orthodox, Roman Catholics, and Armenian Apostolic Church. They've got this ancient agreement called the status quo to split up control of the place and avoid fights. Inside, you've got spots like the Calvary Chapel, where Jesus was crucified, marked by a rock with his body's imprint, and the Edicule, a little chapel with the empty tomb where he rose. That tomb's a symbol of hope and victory over death for Christians. Pilgrims from all over come to pray, attend masses, and join rituals, especially during Holy Week. The Via Dolorosa, the path Jesus walked carrying the cross, ends here, and it's a super emotional journey for Christians visiting Jerusalem. Beyond the spiritual stuff, the church is a testament to Christianity's history and the messy, beautiful mix of traditions and cultures over time. It's seen tensions, disputes, and even some fights between the groups that run it, but it also stands for unity in the diversity of Christian faith. Surrounded by other holy sites like the Western Wall and Al-Aqsa Mosque, the church sits in a crazy rich historical and cultural spot. It's more than a monument. It's a living hub of faith, devotion, and spirituality, connecting millions of Christians to Jesus' story and the promise of resurrection. If you're vibing with this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Conflict and peace. Jerusalem's hands down one of the most iconic yet messy cities out there. Its spiritual and symbolic weight for Jews, Christians, and Muslims makes it a hotspot where religion, politics, and national identity crash into each other, sparking tensions that have felt unsolvable for decades. Finding peace here is a massive challenge for global diplomacy and a core issue in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Since the 20th century, Jerusalem's been a battleground for territorial and political disputes. After the British Mandate in Palestine ended and Israel was created in 1948, the city got split. Israel controlled the western part, while Jordan held the eastern part, including the Old City with all its holy sites. Access to those sites was limited for many, which stirred up a lot of resentment. Then, in 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel captured East Jerusalem and the Old City, unifying the city under its control. But that move wasn't recognized internationally and caused major controversy, since Palestinians see East Jerusalem as the capital of their future state. The city's status is still one of the trickiest issues in peace talks. The conflict isn't just about land, it's deeply religious. Sacred sites like the Western Wall, Al-Aqsa Mosque, and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre make Jerusalem a powder keg of religious passion. Disputes over access and control of these places spark constant tension. Al-Aqsa, in particular, is a flashpoint holy to Muslims, but also the Temple Mount where some Jews want to rebuild their temple. These religious tensions often lead to protests, clashes, and even attacks, feeding a cycle of retaliation and fear. Life in East Jerusalem, especially for Palestinians, is tough, marked by restrictions, barriers, and a constant sense of insecurity. But even with all this, there are efforts to build peace and coexistence. Interfaith initiatives promote dialogue between Jews, Christians, and Muslims, focusing on shared values like tolerance and respect. Local and international groups organize cultural, educational, and religious events to foster understanding, showing that hope for peace is still alive. The international communities tried to mediate through peace plans and UN resolutions, saying Jerusalem's final status should come from negotiations and calling East Jerusalem occupied territory. But no deal's been reached, and the city's still politically divided, even if Israel administers it. The city's symbolic weight makes compromise tough. Israelis see it as their historic and spiritual capital, while Palestinians see East Jerusalem as key to their national identity and future state. Israeli settlements in East Jerusalem add another layer of conflict, seen by Palestinians and much of the world as a barrier to peace by changing the area's demographics. Still, some believe peace is possible with bold political moves, open dialogue, and respect for both sides' aspirations. Ideas like splitting the city into two capitals or creating a special international setup for the holy sites have been floated to keep the peace and ensure fair access. In short, Jerusalem's a microcosm of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a place where faith, history, and politics collide, creating a complex mix of struggle and hope. Peace here isn't just a political goal, it's a human effort to bridge deep divides and build a future where Jews, Christians, and Muslims can live in harmony. Want to join the adventure? Dream of visiting this incredible place? Drop a comment saying, "I'm dreaming," and let me know why. Why did Hebrew disappear? Jerusalem's a legit cultural mosaic, with people, religions, and languages blending in a way that's totally unique, reflecting its wild historical and social complexity. Despite the political and religious tensions, the city's got this vibrant, multifaceted diversity that shines through in its people, customs, and especially its languages. You see this multiculturalism everywhere: streets, markets, places of worship, where Jews, Muslims, Christians, and other minorities live side by side. It's not always chill, but it creates a rich vibe where different histories, traditions, and cultures mix. The main languages are Hebrew and Arabic, Israel's official languages, reflecting the ethnic and religious makeup. English is also big, especially for tourism, business, and government, acting as a common language for different groups. The story of Hebrew is super fascinating. Unlike most languages that just evolve naturally, Hebrew was basically a dead spoken language for nearly 2,000 years. It stuck around as a liturgical and written language for religious rituals, sacred texts, and scholarly work in Jewish communities worldwide. After the Jewish diaspora, when Jews spread out and adopted local languages like Yiddish and Ladino, Hebrew got relegated to synagogues, rabbinical schools, and scriptures. Loved traveling with me to this epic destination? Smash that like button and subscribe. Jerusalem's Big Market. The main market in Jerusalem, locally called the Shuk, is one of the liveliest, most fascinating spots in the Old City, capturing the cultural, historical, and social vibe of this ancient city. Right in the heart of Old Jerusalem, the Shuk is a microcosm of the city's diversity, where Jews, Muslims, Christians, and tourists from all over cross paths in a colorful, aromatic, noisy scene. This market goes back centuries, a key trading hub for locals and visitors. Its current setup comes from years of expansions, but it still feels like a classic Middle Eastern bazaar. Walking its narrow alleys, you can feel history in the stone walls and arched roofs. The Shuk stalls sell everything: exotic spices like saffron, cinnamon, cumin, and za'atar, plus medicinal herbs and incense that make the air smell amazing. You'll also find vibrant fabrics, handmade rugs, jewelry, and religious items like mezuzahs and rosaries, reflecting the city's three major religions. Food's a huge draw too. Small restaurants and street vendors dish out local eats like falafel, hummus, sabich, and sweets like baklava and naif. Trying these while wandering the alleys is a must. Many spots use recipes passed down for generations, keeping family and cultural traditions alive. Beyond shopping, the Shuk's a social and cultural hub. Locals swap news, tourists chat with artisans, and kids play among the stalls. It's a living space where Jerusalem's daily life comes alive. Religious festivals and cultural events often happen nearby, making the market a community centerpiece. For history buffs, the Shuk's close to sacred sites like the Western Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and Al-Aqsa Mosque, making it a must-stop in the Old City. It's a way to dive into Jerusalem's everyday life beyond the monuments. That said, the market deals with challenges from the region's political tensions, which can affect the flow of people and goods. Still, it stands as a symbol of resilience and cultural exchange, showing that Jerusalem remains a place of diversity despite the struggles. In short, the Jerusalem market isn't just a place to shop. It's a full-on cultural experience tying together history, faith, flavors, and human connection. It's where the past and present meet, giving visitors a peek into the vibrant soul of a city that's been captivating the world for millennia. So, what did you think of this trip with me? Drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Catch you later, and thanks for watching.